doesn't matter, but Kaja is my new favorite hero. Just by the animations, oh my goodness, he is gorgeous. Oh my.
Yep. Don't worry, you can keep glazing it. Nobody will be able to see it in this tournament because it's just a new revamp that got dropped in the latest patch, which is why we started a little bit later today. But even so, it is. It will be interesting to see how that's going to shape up with the metagame, right? With the new way that the ult actually works, it is a scarily big zone.
Yeah. Honestly, looking at this game, there's really not much to say without either saying too good of a thing for Aurora or too bad for Mongols. But I don't know. I hope Mongols is able to recover from this, because going up against Aurora in this format right now is really not fair. This is the best meta for Aurora, and I don't know, we'll see whether Aurora refines it even more, because I agree with you, Gideon. It feels like Aurora started and Spirit just refined it. Now it's just everyone else surviving it, you know.
I don't know, this just felt like prison rules, right? Aurora Gaming control the yard at this point, and Mongols just don't get any free time to actually flex and work out at this stage. It is tough. I think it was a really big mistake that Makey decided to go for this Genius Wand instead of going for the Glowing Wand as his first item. I get that he wants to, start off the early game similarly to game number 1, getting Rosa to use that Purify and also Pagu at the same time with the Flicker, but small adjustments allowed that laning phase to actually just result in Rosa only losing out on the Purify, and Rosa doesn't need it for the upcoming fights when you have black shoes. Even so, this is an even more devastating game with a refined Aurora Gaming, and I think that the Mongols, if they're going to play this double fighter comp, they're going to need some damage in the side lane. Like, Esme is good into the Freya, but only for so long, and that's why a lot of teams actually lean into the Paquito for that big fat burst.
Yep. With that, we do have one more series for today to close things out, which, by the way, we have not seen SRG go up against Rune Eaters, right? That's supposed to be it.
Oh, you are right.
Wait a minute. I thought it was supposed to be the third series. What happened?
It's fine. Schedules change. Schedules change, and our players are just happy to be able to get these games down. Well, if we are lucky enough to get SRG facing up against the Rune Eaters, it will be a battle of mechanics, and I am all for it. We saw a lot of great stuff coming out from the Rune Eaters side, and I wouldn't say a revamp, but at least a SRG coming back to their identity, back to their form, which would have been nice like a week and a half ago, but hey.
future.
These two teams are about to compete. ONIC from Indonesia and of course GEKAY Esports both already have their playoff slots secured for games of the future. But what they're fighting for here today is whether or not they can skip the round of 16 first round and go ahead straight into the second round. Renmar and Wolf, we've been here the whole time and we'll be here to close out this series again between these two who did get sweep wins in their previous matches, but if you ask us which of these two teams looked more dominating and impressive, it was definitely ONIC.
Not gonna take anything away from GEEKAY Esports. When we saw them get the 2-0, there were standout performances and there were really good plays, but ONIC, you're right, they were just so dominant and everybody's playing so well. You gotta start with Keyboy and Sons. Was actually there were a lot of criticisms for Keyboy Lati as well as Sons in their embassy performance, but yesterday when we saw them, they were actually playing so well that the trio is looking good. But then of course Kelra playing the aggressive gold laners. You have Kyrie, ever so reliable assassins, and of course Coach Yeb for some reason is sitting down. Hopefully not the one to actually play.
Remind me. I know Yeb played, right? What position was he?
So back then, it was mid lane, but you know when during that time the mid laners were the
Carries, right?
carries. Yes,
Yeah.
I think he technically is the technically is the jungler. I feel like, or maybe just mid lane mage. You know.
Well, let's see. I don't think it's going to be Coach Jeb playing today. I'm pretty sure he was just sitting in the seat, knowing that Sans probably just went off to the bathroom or something, or is getting ready. But here for GK, it's Aizen, Quanok, Shen, Isito, and Yaga. And yes, if you missed it yesterday, me and Wolf were losing our minds over Quanok and his Eudora. Definitely something that ONIC need to watch out for, because the man was sharp with it. He was flickering forward and getting all the right targets all the time.
That's right. And not. I think that you have to really watch that series for you to appreciate how GK was, how they performed basically. Because I feel like they are really coordinated. It's fun to watch. All things considered, it's fun to watch GEEKAY Esports because of how coordinated they were up against their opponents, and that actually is a treat because we have not seen as much from GK. But then again, you remember, yeah, this was the team that actually became champions in the region, and there were a lot of improvements for this team, and it's the reason why they managed to get into international tournaments, including this one.
And y'all, don't worry, we haven't started the game yet. You're just seeing the players, of course, test things out, making sure everything's smooth before we head into the draft. Remember to recap here in Group D, and actually pretty much on our stream, we've seen a majority of sweeps. Specifically, ONIC got the sweep. Pro Esports, very dominant with it. Get the call back to it. Double Paquito games for Kelra. Double Loopy Barrett's games. You know, for GK, had a lot more variety. Played a completely different set of heroes in each game. I think now for GK, they have to try and double down and looking at what ONIC do really well, which is that huge early game tempo. Definitely start from taking away the Barretts away from Lippy. He's way too good with it.
Yeah. I guess the trade-offs will be like the Eudora that we saw from Quanok, and how comfortable he is with that. You know, after the Barretts, you have to be very prepared about the upcoming assassins afterwards, as well as the Paquito, because if you do take away the Barretts, you know, by banning it, it means that that there will be a lot of options in the EXP as well as the jungler role to be available, because you eliminate one of their threats, right? So Paquito, which Kelra really likes to play, you have to think about. And then the Hirara will always be a consideration for ONIC Indonesia, as Carry plays it so much. So there will be trade-offs. That's really what is scary about these Barretts, and especially Barrett specialists like Lutpi as well as Shogun. They make it so that the draft will drastically change if you deny it, if you ban it, if you pick it, and you really have to be wary of the adverse effects of banning out the Barretts when it comes to the overall shape of the draft.
So first off, we start with that. And don't lean in too hard into it, or you might just end up slipping and losing a really good pick, or losing the draft big time if you look too closely into the Barretts. Now, I took a moment to look at the playoffs brackets. With how it looks like right now, Foot Esports, we mentioned, are most likely going to be going up against Team Spirit in the round of 16. Yanfeng Yaogai will go up against Team Vamos. And here's the juicy part. Number 2 of Group D. If ever, somehow, ONIC end up losing the series to GK, they will be going up against number 3 of Group C, which is none other than Aurora Gaming. So, gotta watch out for that. We might end up seeing the rematch right away.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. But as it looks like right now, if we are gonna follow, of course, the expected result of many, which is ONIC are gonna be taking number one in this group. Their most likely opponents is gonna be either Team Vamos or Jianfeng Yao Guai. It's gonna be a while actually until we see some heavyweight rematches across the board. Most likely not until the semifinals.
That's right. And if I remember correctly, this is it will be is it a double elimination bracket in the playoffs?
No, it's all single elims, but there's a third place match, and the grand finals is only best of 5. Semifinals is best of 3.
That's right. That's right. So it will be quick eliminations if in case. Now I'm trying to recall what happened in the first the first time we saw the games of the future. Aurora Gaming PH and Aurora Gaming Turkey almost met at the grand finals, but Aurora Gaming PH got taken out by ONIC Indonesia, and then I believe it was Team Spirit that Aurora Gaming Turkey faced. So anyways, what I'm trying to say here is that there will be a lot of good reunions. Like it could be ONIC versus Team Spirit eventually, or ONIC versus Aurora, which will be the third time that we'll see Aurora Gaming go up against ONIC Indonesia in later. Fourth time, in fact, if you count MCS twice. So that would be interesting. And then Team Spirit, the champions, obviously you want to if you're ONIC Indonesia, you want to get back at the eventual champions of the MSC after getting 3-0'd by them just a few days ago. So a lot of good and upcoming fights that we are about to see.
So it's going to be really interesting to see the final look at the bracket. On the other stream, we're already waiting for them to start as well for their last series of the day. Selangor Red Giants and Ruin Eaters in Group C is closing out the Group A to C stream, where, of course, our friends Gideon and Lafell are at. And if you're just joining us now, as we've been mentioning, ONIC and GEEKAY will be closing out the Group B-D stream for today. I'm going to look back at the heroes. We talked about the Barretts, of course, having a huge impact. I feel like GEEKAY is in a really tough spot of whether or not, how are they, or let's look at it from one thing first. Are they going to try to force Kelra into the fighters, or are they going to try to force them into marksman? Because it seems like wherever route you go, it's going to be really difficult to deal with Kelra in the gold lane, whether it's Paquito Freya or any of the other long string of marksman options that he has available for him.
Yeah. I think if you're GEEKAY, you're better off forcing Kelra into marksman. Right now, Kelra has found a new kind of playstyle, playing the fighter gold laners, and he can be very aggressive with it. And if they keep on doing that, it will be good for their team. Look at this though, Redmar. Barrett's banned by ONIC themselves.
Wow, that's a hell of a signal here for ONIC. I think it's one of the things that teams like to do is like they know that the team is looking at a certain pick, and then they just go, hey, you know what? Let me ban it for you. Because that way you get to force out some things. And most likely GEEKAY were already eyeing out picking up the Barrett somehow one way or another. So you just get rid of that threat across the board.
Yeah. Okay, so this really opens up so much for the two teams, because we're seeing different banning patterns. The Marcel is open, so is the Hirara. But that also means that the Belleric now increases its priority between the two teams that we have, and also the Valentina. There is a smart play. If okay, so the Belleric being banned out, so you're thinking either Marcel or Hirara, right, for GEEKAY Esports. There is an argument that can be made for the Valentina, but instead it's going to be the Marcel. So are you going Valen Hirara if you're ONIC?
Well, ONIC has already shown that even up against Don Marcel or other teams, you can still willingly play the Vexana. It's still gonna be fine. I mean, there's that funny interaction wherein you see the Eternal Guard come down, but the damage, that whole knockup thing, won't register up until the golden hour goes out. It's just this sudden surprise burst, so they don't even need to rush into it. They pick up the Valentina and the Herrera, that if ever GK want to block this Valentina away from ONIC, it might actually end up hurting them in the long run.
For sure. You're not gonna pick that for sure. You're gonna consider either Nolan or Harley or even Guinevere.
Yes.
Immediate pick up on the Esmeralda. That's the decision now for GEEKAY Esports. Let's run it back. Let's play the EXP lane like we used to, like proper Mobile Legends players from before. Esmeralda versus Uranus. Eternal battle. Why not? They will go for the Eudora instead. Of course, that's the Quantum Special. ONIC, how are they going to answer this? They do have an option to pick up the Valentina, but I feel like they will just go for the Marcel. I feel like, apart from that, there is some merit to pick up the Valentina here for ONIC if they wish so.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It works a little bit better with and for their lineup instead of GK picking it up for themselves. So it's good to see that they didn't fall into the trap of picking it up. But remember, the Vexana is still an option. Even if you're not thinking about using it with countering something like glue, you don't have to worry about it popping up. But here it is. Something that we saw with another team prioritizing Eudora and then losing on reach. They go ahead and pick up the Melissa.
Have I not seen this before? Of course I did. It will be the Hirara plus the Melissa and then the Uranus in there. Eventually, there will be another tanky hero that Keyboy will pick up without this Belleric. You are incentivized to go for maybe a Minotaur or maybe
Glue?
a glue? Well, probably. Is it? I think you will want to take away the glue from GEEKAY Esports because that could be an option for them, or maybe not anymore because they already have the Esmeralda as well as the Marcel.
Yeah.
But yeah, you probably won't ban it. You take it for yourself, and call me crazy, but I think ONIC wants to last pick the Rafaela.
Ooh.
I think.
Just do it for the lulz. I mean, might as well give it a try, see how it goes. Melissa, Rafa, Melissa, Yura. And I can't remember. We don't see the map. We don't know actually what it is, whether or not we're going to clouds or whatnot. But good, safe to assume that if ever there is a Rafaela getting picked up for ONIC, then we are in clouds.
Yep. Good combination. Rafaela and Fine Clouds. Thinking about like what are the options here for Keyboy? Do they even think about they probably want Matilda, right? Okay, so they go for the Jushin. Alright, pretty standard ONIC stuff. And GEEKAY immediately answers with the Nolan, one of the remaining options. Clint banned out, which means what, you're gonna Brody perhaps or Granger.
Yeah.
GEEKAY Esports.
I think I prefer the Granger a little bit more, even though you're up against a wall in the Uranus. You could still find a way to weave it through and make it work. Boy, what's it gonna be? We put some possibilities in the Minotaur and what's the other one that we mentioned?
The glue.
The glue. Yeah. So what's it gonna be, ONIC? I mean, your suggestion also is. Oh wait, no, we aren't gonna see the Rafa anymore.
No, we can't. What else is a good system? Matilda mayhaps, but actually, the Matilda can work. Despite there being Esmeralda the opposite end, Matilda for Keyboy. Okay.
Ooh. Oh.
This is up against the Marcel.
Yep.
Could be a
I think the last time we saw this, it didn't work, was it? Like, it was too difficult for Tigreal to actually work around with the presence of Marcel?
Yeah. Theoretically speaking, it's so difficult. But in practice, maybe the idea will be to wait for the golden hour to pop before you
Yeah.
pop your ult. So it's going to be like a dance battle between two teams where, okay, they're going to be waiting for whoever pops the ultimate first. And that guy will lose the team fight. Can't say that I am confident with it. However, the first 4 picks that we saw from the side of ONIC Indonesia, it's pretty standard. It's pretty ONIC coded. And it can easily work, I feel like. So we'll see. Both teams having drafted their own. I'm still confident that Aquanok Eudora can bring a lot of mileage for GEEKAY Esports.
Xavier's gonna make some magic, similar to what we saw in his previous series against Alpha 7 North. Final series of the day, game number 1. Both are qualified for the playoffs already, but you're looking at better placements. Burst straight into the mid. Sans and Keyboy getting sent back just a little bit with all this great damage and combo, of course, coming out from the Eudora. Fight for the first Little Wanderer, both heavily contesting it. Looks like it went to the side of GK, while ONIC will minimize their losses.
Yeah, 4 heroes for GEEKAY Esports. I like that decision. Fast clear your lane, get to there as Aizen. Now they will dip back into the fight, actually poking Tigreal down, forcing that flicker out. Great heads up play coming up from GEEKAY Esports, but they did have to commit Quanok's flicker for that one. I feel like when it comes to value, of course, you would prefer to have your flicker on your Tigreal. The first team fight that will happen around the first turtle.
Gets the tough boots for the EXP lane and the roam. There is a lot of crowd control to watch. Kelra, wow, he is just facing Yaga up front, and he's sidestepping him face up, and Yaga can't hit.
Look at that. He is faster in the wave. The models is a problem for Yaga, the Granger up top. And yeah, Kelra, I've seen him play the Melissa before and it's masterful with it. Now, ONIC are gonna be the first one to dip their toes into the turtle, zoning out Shen. Nolan is so far away. ONIC identifies that. They blitz the turtle. And all of a sudden, ONIC just clipped the wings of GEEKAY Esports.
Shen decides to pull back the golem, so it sets up for Bomba a little bit better. Sino, I mean. And Kyrie is forced to go back. Cannot heavily contest it unless Keyboy, Lutpi, and Sans get the info that they could get something really good. Lutpi will continue his annoyance of the Nolan. Meanwhile, the mid, Shen and Quanok. Stopped by Sans and Keyboy. Quanok having a hard time hitting level 4 as Sans is already just about to hit level 5. Here comes Kelra. They go for a mid play. See if they can find an opening there, but that's just a double lane coming in from the gold standard. They clear it up. Lutpi in the back. And this Uranus is just gonna keep being that kind of presence. Chino can't get to his orange buff.
Yeah. ONIC invasion is too difficult to deal with now because of how fast they were moving. And it seems like GEEKAY Esports are just unprepared for kind of relentless movements from ONIC Indonesia. They're even including Sans and their Keyboy dashing him forward does not land. Because the golden hour catching 2. Kyrie gets out. You can do that?
Did he iframe it?
He timed it perfectly though. He timed the iframe so that he will not get hit by the golden hour. As soon as he gets out of the iframe, he dashes out.
Dashes out of the golden hour. Ah.
Wow.
That makes sense. That's a learning. That's something new. Thanks for teaching us something new, Kyrie. All right, no wonder all these Hiraras are very confident with picking this up into the Marcel. You can't just avoid it, and add that to the long list of reasons as to why Hirara is busted. Want to continue the assault. Here comes Shen. No good than an hour for him just yet. Aizen trying to hold, but very systematically, ONIC have just reduced the amount of farm that they can get in the jungle. I'm talking about GK Esports. Keyboy goes in with the implosion. The Sacred Hammer plus the implosion lands. Yaga caught in no man's land, and he's gonna get taken out. Looks like he flickered the wrong way. GK is trying to find a win elsewhere besides getting Keyboy down. Lutpi is protecting Kelra, and that's a win for GK. Oh, excuse me, ONIC.
especially because of the Gold Rainer. They want to position for the turtle. That is the golden hour, desperately used by Shen, and a wasted ultimate. In fact, folks coming out from the Nolan. Sans has to back out for now, but Kyrie is controlling the turtle, so is Keyboy. Lutpi already looking for Zeno, finds him. Shen might be in trouble because of this, no? Gets out Lutpi. Pretty safe as the Uranus. No threat from GK Esports. And ONIC Indonesia are gonna be happy with trading Keyboy, eventually taking the turtle, and now getting back into farming.
This Uranus for ONIC and Lutpi has been so good. Revisiting it and reconfirming it, but yes, if I recall correctly, it was an undefeated for the entire run of MSC. I believe the final standing of Lutpi and the Uranus was 8-0 or 9-0. That's how good he was with this hero.
That's right. Now, Quanok. Oh, flicker to the right. Avoids the entirety of ONIC. In comes Shen. Golden hour catches two. Now Kyrie in trouble. Another iframe to dodge the thunder coming out from this Eudora. Gets out. Keyboy, Sliver of HE also getting out of there. Explosions coming out from GEEKAY. ONIC survives, and Lutpi happy to soak all the damage in the world for his teammates to also get out of there. And for some reason, he's also able to protect the purple buff. GEEKAY Esports and ONIC, big tussle in the middle, but no one dies.
Great defense from ONIC on all ends. After that golden hour, I was waiting to see where Yaga would be able to drop the damage. Meanwhile, the mid lane Keyboy found a big flicker implosion. It looks like Quanok's gonna get taken out here, but Kyrie's holding on. He becomes a trade. It's the mid laner for the jungler, and it doesn't look good for ONIC. They've lost Kyrie. GK have countered Keyboy's set really well. As I was saying earlier, Yaga actually had his his skills body blocked by Keyboy after the golden hour was dropped down by Shen. Topside now, GK trying to look for another win. Keyboy spots on Yaga and Shen, they back off.
A massive win taking out Kyrie. And are they able to push middle? It seems like there will be a defense. Esmeralda wants to go and take that. They will be able to push. Now up top, golden hour. Keyboy is low. But they will also be able to push because of this. GK Esports are playing so well. They even get the turtle on top of it all. 3 massive wins for GK Esports. Objectives that they were able to take. And now they are leading when it comes to the goal. Who would have thunk GK Esports can do this to ONIC, especially with ONIC securing all these heroes that they have. Oh my goodness.
All right, GK, we see you. We see you now. Great little movements, great calls. It's still very even, very, very close. But don't be so surprised if by the end of this game, it's GK that we're hyping up. That's going to be a sudden burst yet again. Here comes Quanok with a signature Eudora. Lutpi took a lot of damage. But of course, it is a Uranus. GK are not going to be able to take it down.
Nolan now able to slowly get the push again into the bottom lane. ONIC seems like they've lost when it comes to their map movements. And GK just collects a lot of gold around the map. Maybe the trade-off is that Kyrie is pushing up top, but another pressure point coming up from GK Esports. Pop the golden hour onto Keyboy. Keyboy has to back out. Aizen is going to be controlled, and he has to be careful. Has to purify. Gets out of there. Keyboy actually being exploded by Quanok. Didn't even look at the explosion out there. He just went out, flickered, and took out Keyboy. Quanok, the specialist.
He's still good with this Eudora. At this point, I think ONIC really need to have an honest conversation about taking it away from him. He continues. It's up against some really tanky heroes too. ONIC still, again, very close in the goal. They still have their win condition in the Melissa. Keller's been able to get farm. But with all of this reach and the surprise burst coming out, we talked about the difficulty of the Tigreal into the Marcel. I think the reason why we're seeing a lot more proactive movements where GK and ONIC look kind of lost is that Tigreal is just definitely slower in the first step compared to the Marcel. Marcel gets around so much quicker, and you have to be very deliberate with it. Speaking about Shen, Golden Hour forces out the Crimson Beacon. They get the burst down Lutfi on this Uranus, but aren't able to take him down. Meanwhile, back behind the Lord Pit, it seems like a member of GK was left. That's Aizen on the Esmeralda. Kiboy can't do much against him. It's advantage for GK heading into this Lord.
Look at this. The Nolan looking for an angle, looking for the opening. They found each other up top. And it seems like they're having a little bit of a duel out there. But Kyrie will be able to clear the lane up. Both of them, in fact. There's a duel. It's still ongoing. They're still going at it. The Nolan is slow. But in comes Shen to help him out. Keyboy as well. Roamers and junglers up top. A 2v2. And that was the most intense minimap casting I've ever did.
Here comes GK. Seeing if they can convert it. There are already 5 members of ONIC around here. They left the Nolan up top to clear. They're trying to force a reaction out. Quanok again in a spot to see if he can get a pick off. They know the timers really well. I believe that GK have made the call that they know that the purple buff of Kyrie is about to spawn and that there is a minion wave up top. Here comes Shen with another conceal. Brings Quanok with him. They're going after Sans. Are they going to be able to get a big stun off? But Lutfi decides to go for the body block. Quick little freeze moment. They couldn't get to the juice in. Couldn't pop its Crimson Beacon. Here comes Boy from behind. Finds it. Beneath the Golden Hour, can ONIC turn this fight around? The damage coming out of the Granger. GK has taken a lot of hits, but no member of ONIC gets taken out as well. They send back Kyrie to clear his own purple buff. He will go up to orange. GK might actually get this, but it's Zeno who goes to his own purple buff. It's a long dance.
Long dance. Gotta watch out for Quanok now. Doesn't have the ultimate. Lutfi happy to take all of the damage coming out from members of GK. Kyrie slowly getting into the right side, but Aizen spots him out. They will now control the Lord. No ult for Shen for quite a while. So is Quanok has the ultimate. Shen onto the back lines. They want to control this. There's going to be the Purify actually for Shen. Shen far too forward, getting punished. And now Lutfi goes in forward with Kimo. Implosion with the flicker. There is going to be a kill onto the Granger. And now ONIC about their opening angle. Quanok is down as well. There will be a trade for the Jushin. But now Zeno Bomba under the Maniac of Kyrie. And of course, it was Keyboy who started it all so patiently waiting for the most opportune moment to pop the flicker implosion, and he finds it.
This is Keyboy. The perfect timing. And ONIC have broken the dam, open Pandora's box. They will get Lord number 1 after a very long dance between these two. A question for GK, what was Shen doing way too deep behind the lines of ONIC and way too early? The other members of GK look like they were not ready to help him out.
Oh man. The battle of patience. Shen onto the back lines. The first one to break was GK Esports. Not gonna lie, that was pretty close. GK Esports played it so well up until the point where Shen was okay. Kyrie forcing the ultimate, pops the probably misses the Philippines because of that sticker, and was too much stun coming out from Keyboy once again. That results in a Quanok kill. Shen has to back out. ONIC, oh my goodness, they're playing with the minds of GK Esports.
Keyboy again. They baited it out. An entry with the Falling Star Moon coming in from Aizen, but now he's stuck because the other members of GK are distracted by Sans of the Crimson Beacon. Kyrie goes in and gets that kill. A monster kill for him. He has hella stacks on the Sky Piercer after the Maniac that he got. Shen decides to go forward. Yaga trying to hit from afar, but he has to focus on the minion waves here while ONIC decides to focus on it. And they're not going to be able to take it down just yet. They still have minion waves coming in. They have the man advantage with the damage of Kelra going forward towards Xenobomba. The entry by Shen. Just a couple of freezing moments, but not a big set. Doesn't have the Golden Hour just yet, waiting for it. Full combo from the Eudora. Not going to be able to get a kill. ONIC are still relentless, so they want to go for the end. They have the minion waves. They can go ahead and lock, but they want to respect. They push back the members of GK and have taken game number 1.
As good as Quanok is, as good as Shen was, as good as the entirety of GK from yesterday and up until now, ONIC Indonesia has got their number in the second half of this game. It was very close in the first half, but with just a lot of outplays coming out from Kyrie, you saw how many dodges he was able to do in the tail end of that fight. And of course, Keyboy waiting for his moment, waiting for the time where there's no more golden hour that they can jump in. With the implosion, they were able to find it. Gotta keep your head high now if you are GK Sports, because with all due fairness, that was such a good game for them. They just crumbled in the end. And if they just keep their wits at bay, they can actually recover against ONIC Esports.
For anyone who watched GK Esports during MSC 2026, you have to admit this is a huge leap from what we saw from them in that tournament. Let me remind you, they almost were the team that eliminated Selangor Red Giants in the lower bracket quarterfinals in Group B. It had to go into 3 games. It had to go for SRG bringing out their second string jungler just so that they could make it into the next phase, of course, before getting eliminated by ONIC. These are the champions of MPL MENA in GK. Do not turn off the possibility that they might still be able to force game number 3, because we were both so impressed with how they were handling it. It just really took one moment. And you mentioned it as well from the beginning of the draft. We talk about it in the form of ultimates, whoever uses their ultimate first, but then it became of the story of which roamer gets a little bit too overzealous and triggers their initiation a little bit too early. And in the key moment, it was Shen on the Marcel.
See, it's so funny to watch Kara just really literally focus on the base. And then it actually prompted a lot of reactions from GK Esports. And all of a sudden, you can see Kwanok here already ramping up. It feels like ONIC is kind of prepared for this one. They're kind of expecting it, in fact. Look this, Kyrie dodges the ultimate, even Suns as well. They knew that it is going to happen. They knew that eventually Kwanok will be tempted into popping the ultimate. They dodge it and they win the fight afterwards, win the game afterwards, I mean. And GK Esports almost took down ONIC had it not been for Keyboy's heroics. And of course, Kyrie just outplaying everyone with the Hirara.
It's been a trend for Hirara games for Kyrie and ONIC that it could be very level, very steady, and then just when they find that moment, you get multiple kills on the Kyrie. A double, a triple, maybe even a maniac. I feel like we've seen it a lot more, definitely. And again, it's the understanding of ONIC and their timings and their power spikes and the importance of patience. I know this is the meta of just like snowball, go, 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 but
Kapan dong?
Ntar.
Kalau bikinnya sekarang, Papa kasih 200.000.
Incredibly well, and just maximizing the speed of rotations that you could get with the Loe and the Marcel together. Let's see, maybe they've cooked up some very unique takes here and a combination with this Loe pickup. Now they're losing their gold lane options. The Melissa gets banned out here by GK. Still, if they're leaning towards front to back and looking at the dispersion, and they need a little bit more shred, they might be keen on picking up the carry. Maybe even the Clint should still be good. Play the front to back and allow Keller to freely hit from behind.
Yeah.
It's a golden Paquito. This might be tough for the Ling, not gonna lie.
On the contrary, I can see it. I see the vision.
Because they don't have any catch, like hard catch.
Yeah. And also, Louis hates playing against the Ling. When Louis was the top pick hero, Ling will always be the tech pick against that. So that could be an option. Now, Paquito, what will you now pick? Kellera up against that hero. Well, Brody is available, and I think it's just a very safe pick. They go for the Ruby.
Whoa.
Actually, one of the traditional answers to the Ling.
Yeah?
Not gonna lie, I think I like GEEKAY Esports' lineup better.
Yeah, it's very sound ideas around it. Maybe just maybe this early low-E priority might be good. ONIC might be playing a little bit, but you see the vision and the idea behind it, while GK go for just something a little bit more familiar and something we're a little bit more used to. But Rubies in the gold lane, especially if it's gonna build full damage, I feel like has been a nightmare for many of us, surprisingly going up against it in our ranked games where we're suddenly always wondering, why can't we kill this Ruby, and why does it hurt like a truck? Maybe that's what they're banking on, ONIC, and what they're hoping this Ruby could be. But if we just follow the current trends of the metagame, GK looks like they might be on the way to forcing a game 3.
Yep. See how good they are with it. All right. There's something that we will be able to discover after this game. How powerful is it on the EXP lane? And already we're seeing some benefit for picking up this backshot, which is leashing actually is one of the best heroes to actually leash for your jungler. And up against that, there was a time, and I'm not gonna lie, there was a time that the backshot was the answer to the back. That was around M2, around Season 6, in fact. Because of the anti-heal properties, and you generally don't care about each other. But if you get hit by loot piece plates, you can easily be taken out eventually.
Shen might be the first one taken out of here. Perfect stun there by Quanok to stop Kyrie and Kaboy from completing the kill onto that Bellerate. But ONIC did get a small win. They forced out the Flicker from the Bellerate. So no surprise takes here. And let's see, maybe, if I remember correctly, the box for the last time we saw it, it had one simple job. Especially in the EXP lane, back in M2, you just keep diving the back line. You drop down that poisons, you break that formation, and then now all hell breaks loose for the opposing team.
I wonder where...
Because it can survive the burst of the Eudora.
Yes. There's not much to jump onto apart from the Eudora. But you do have that extra anti-heal that can also be a problem for both the Paquito as well as this Barats. And of course, the Belleric. What I'm concerned about is how will ONIC actually play this Louis? Like, where does it stand? Is this a diversion play? That okay, why is Quanok there? We don't know. But they did take out Quanok, which is a really good trade for ONIC. Now they will take the turtle with it.
So much tanky boys right in front of you. The Paquito and the Ruby aren't even here just yet. And look at Aizen melting, struggling to get away from this Baxia. But you still have Xenobomba close by. He looks like he went in a little bit too early. He still has the retribution, but Sans gets the last hit onto that turtle. Lutpi now trying to run away from this. Yaga gets a kill onto Carry. Lutpi brought down really low, but GK Esports decide to back off.
All things considered, I think they have the better trade-off. They were able to feed a kill, an assist for Xeno, a kill for Yaga, the gold laner. They denied some minions away from the Baxia. So Aizen was quick to react up to the top lane. There's a teleport play. Not going to be able to take down Quanok. Quanok is still level 3 at this point, now level 4. That death up top was really detrimental to the levels and the experience of this Eudora. However, GEEKAY Esports gonna be happy with whatever happened. Every time the link does not die in neutral objectives, it's good.
Meanwhile, here in the bottom lane, Yaga gets spotted out. Kyrie, Sans, and Kelra. The teamwork to get a kill onto the gold lane Paquito. Will be opening up a little bit more room for Kelra to farm in the bottom lane, expediting the process of his farm.
Looking sweet now for ONIC as Kelra, the Ruby, being fed 1 assist as well. And will actually be able to get a double lane setup for himself. And the good thing about this Ruby is that it's very spammable. They want to go for Aizen. Tanky dude.
Hello?
Yep, not the best target to actually try to eliminate at this point.
They whittle him down a bit, somewhat. Yaga gets a couple of hits there on the turret, getting a little bit more gold for himself to recover. Bomba, Xeno gets the gold crab. I don't know why. I think it's just because you're so used to calling Kid Bomba Bomba that I can't help but call Xeno Bomba just Bomba also.
Yeah. It's Bomba sanity just recently because of the achievements of Kid Bomba, but again, Turtle, neutral objective, very important in here. I think they'll use the Louis just to transport the Baxia into that fight. Okay, so that's exactly what's gonna happen here for ONIC. Diversion is just used to really just an express way for the split pushers of ONIC to get into the neutral objectives, which will now commence.
The fight breaks off. Shank is taken out. Oh, Aizen missed the detonus. Welcome. This could be really massive. But the missiles and the knockback brings ONIC a little bit closer to victory, actually, even though they're the ones that get hit by it. And Turtle number 2 will be going to ONIC. Let's see if they can build that into an even bigger win as Yaga is trying to clear the minion wave in the bottom lane. Lutpi decides to go in for the dive. A little bit of a sidestep and a flicker, but they decide to dive the tower. Instead, Yaga falls to ONIC after Turtle goes to them.
5 people in for ONIC. They take out 2. They will be able to take the turret as well. Xeno just decides to split push. Smart play coming out from Xeno, given what is the situation there for their team, as was a quick elimination onto Shen. And don't run Wolf King from Kelra. It's perfect. Lutpi now, oh, it comes Kelra once again, snagging Quanok. Quanok is down. Now they wanted for the Grand of the Giant, but it comes the Golden Hour to counter the play coming up from GEEKAY Esports, trapping 2. And of course, the Louis with prepped up duality passive. After the Golden Hour, that was the tech that they were looking for. Kyrie diving in, being teleported. Oh, Xeno misses the shot. Kyrie is gonna survive despite him diving too deep. And ONIC is showing us a new tech with this Louis in combination with this Barcel.
Chloe, Marcel, Ruby, a lot of close range, but Quanok again gets the burst of a lifetime. But Yaga quickly gets answered. Ludwig decides to go forward with the shield unity. Kyrie, iframe, takes out Quanok, gets a damage off. But with Aizen, Zeno, and Shen all healthy, Kelra, Sans, and Kyrie all back off. This combination is nasty from ONIC. It's like it will suck you in. It will just group you up, and it will not let you go and slowly eat you up. That is crazy tech by ONIC that they're showcasing.
Oh, yeah. We saw that there is little to no reaction that GEEKAY Esports were able to do afterwards. They lost 2 of their members immediately after the golden hour. And fortunately for GEEKAY Esports, Zeno is still alive. And Zeno is able to farm up top. Kelra smells something awry at top. Yep, Sans. Again, Sans is more like a ride-hailing app, practically. Yeah, look at this.
I mean, yeah, he literally grabs his team with him.
Yeah.
And takes them wherever they want to go. Oh, but here comes pedal to the metal. It's Gus for ONIC. They go forward. They get a pick off onto Shen. And GK immediately back away from the turtle. It's all 3 turtles going to ONIC in game number 2.
We'll take it. They will now force the issue into the middle. They know that the Paquito is up top. They want to dive in Aizen. This time Zeno threatens for anything. He's just overseeing the operation right now. Oh, Aizen misses the Daytonas again, and he's punished for it. Damage coming out from Quanok, Ratha the Dryad as well. In comes the golden hour for the counter. Baba Yaga onto the backlines, but he's quickly stopped by Kelra. Second skill to stun him down, and now Kyrie with the iframes to take him out. With the help of Kelra, they eliminate the Paquito. Now Keyboy controlling Shen. Shen taken out by Sans. Perfect movements coming out from ONIC, only losing Ludwig. And now Kelra jumps in. Quanok is dead. Just like that. You cannot be stationary against the members of ONIC because everybody can just snag you away and take you down.
What is this lineup? Absolutely disgusting by ONIC. And it looks like they've trained and practiced this for a long time with how smooth they're playing it. The flicker, I'm offended, and all of the layering of crowd control before that. Yeah, it's a problem for GK because they're literally immobile against all of this crowd control, the constant procs of the duality and dispersion coming in from Sans and his Lo Yi. If you blink and look, if you squint and look at it a certain way, it looks like this lineup was built for the Lo Yi as the centerpiece, and they go again. Aizen gets taken down. Kyrie is godlike, even with the anti-dive here to the side of GK. There's just too much crowd control, but finally ONIC might have bitten more than they could chew. They finally access Sans, but he's safe. He's free because he is well protected by the other members of this crazy-ass lineup.
And you can see the reaction coming out from ONIC. It's as if they were expecting Yaga to go in. The moment that the Paquito went in with the flicker, they knew exactly what to do. But it wasn't the flicker that Yaga used, but the mobility coming out from the Paquito and the potential burst onto the backlines, able to react, protect themselves, peel for each other. Reaction time coming out from ONIC is pristine. And this chaotic lineup that we thought does not make sense, the backshot from the EXP, the Louis 3rd pick, we didn't know that it could be as smooth as this. And ONIC, Coach Yeb, CW will never doubt you again.
They have cooked. I guess it works out very well for them too that it's into a lineup with a Paquito gold lane.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see how this lineup would have fared with a longer distance poke marksman, but I feel like it also might not have made that much of a difference. ONIC would have just continued diving, continued fighting.
Red team turret has been destroyed.
This is the Hail Mary play. Look at Shen going for the backlines. But there will be flicker for Sans and the rest of ONIC available as well. Let's see how can GEEKAY Esports cook this time.
Shen, conceal. He'll have the flicker. He tosses it out. It doesn't get everyone, but it gets enough Tempest of Blades gets brought down, but it's delayed by the Golden Hour. Kohana gets taken out by Kyrie, who has decimated the backline. Keller takes down Yaga. Double kill there for Kyrie. 3 members of GK down, and ONIC with this lineup. Run and gun. All gas. No brakes. Ruby in the gold lane. Baxter in the EXP. That's ONIC in 2. No need for game 3.
Unbelievable lineup, so chaotic, so good, so random. You would think that it will not win, but ONIC have rehearsed this, practiced with it, and showed us how it's done. New techs unlocked by ONIC Indonesia. Marcel with the Louis, it works. And a lot of displacement as well. Again, the duality being propped means that there's a lot of displacement already coming out from the Louis. And then you have Kelra with the I'm offended. Ruby obviously has a lot of displacement. And of course, this Baxia that is always going to be a threat when it comes to the dive. And it's unlike any other diver out there. It's very tanky. And maybe, just maybe, we have found an answer to the Barretts in the EXP that has been running rampant all throughout the past 2 weeks of MOBB action in the pro scene. Thank you so much, ONIC, for actually making this happen.
Time is a flat circle. It seems like we're quickly running through the history of MLBB, except of course people constantly just whipping out Sabres and Karinas back when they were absolutely busted. But what's next? Again, it's like what, in 3-4 weeks, maybe the midway through the next MPL season, suddenly there's a team bringing back full-on Ubis somehow. But this meta game, just when we thought we have settled in, here comes ONIC. And you have to put GK up there in terms of quality. Look how they played game number 1. It took one mistake, just one little mistake, and they lost it. And they were giving ONIC a huge struggle and challenge in that game. Game number 2, here's ONIC bring back